Star Trek 57, M23, take 2.
It's the It's Got Star Trek podcast.
Nope. Not wearing a uniform.
First year, were you instructed to jettison your gear?
No.
Who do you think you are speaking with, boy? You are in the presence of Laura Thok, daughter of Ashmeret, from the Klingon house of Dakhatash and the Jem'Hadar lineage of Kabaj. Your only reply is no, Cadet Master.
Sorry, Cadet what?
Lower deck latrine duty, 6 months as interspecies vomit monitor, and 200 push-ups. Now! I said now! Right now! On the floor!
Hey, down.
Up, down, up!
Welcome to. Wait,
What's happening?
What are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
But you opened your mouth. I was about to
Oh,
say.
I just opened my mouth, but I didn't say anything.
You made like one of them
did
sounds.
Did I make one of
Oh my
those
god! You
sounds?
freaked me out. You threw me off.
Well, it was before we started, you were like, "Let's be quiet before we start, so I know where to do the thing."
Yeah, just so I can see the waveform.
And so, but then
it
it occurred to me while I was quiet, like before we're quiet, I went like, "Nyeh."
Yeah.
So you could have just looked at that point, and the waveform were spiked at that one point. But
fair.
that probably wasn't worth bringing up and ruining the whole opening.
No, it's fine. Nothing's ruined.
Nothing's ruined. Nothing's gained. Nothing ruined. Nothing gained. Is that how it goes?
I think that's the name of a Deep Space Nine episode.
Yes.
This is the It's Got Star Trek podcast, and
Greetings.
to that podcast, you are welcomed.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
You totally faked me out.
So, okay.
You fucked my shit up.
I apologize for
No,
that,
it's
Dan.
okay. I keeps me on my toes.
I think it worked out in the end. Did a little bit of improvisation there. For new listeners, you're not going to know what just happened.
Apologies.
Regular listeners will know. Quick side note at the top of the show. I'm guessing you cottoned on to this, Dan.
Cottoned on.
I'm guessing you gathered this in your while you were collecting sound clips, but
You were messing with me?
this television program is aces when it comes to having clever little quips in the background. There's lots of background quips.
Oh, you mean like people in the back, like when they're having a conversation in the background, someone's like,
Or at the tail ends of conversations, like you just played. Play that clip you just played.
Apologies.
that one?
No, the one before that.
Hi.
That one?
Well, yeah. See, there's like a little stuff after.
yeah,
There's
little
always a little stuff after. It.
Yeah, there's
I
a
mean,
lot.
and that one is not a good example because it didn't have a joke. Some of them have.
Hello.
That one? How about?
Yes, that one.
Yeah.
But a lot of them have little jokes at the end where you barely hear it, and I only noticed it on the second subsequent watches.
Yeah, and a lot of these later Star Treks have a lot more sound going on, and so it makes it a little more effort to cut around the sound. I brought this up in the past.
Just for the audience at home, if you're confused as to the distortion in Dan's voice briefly there, it was because he was digging something out of his eyeball.
What? There was a distortion?
Yeah, you were making like a little. You were like twisty. You were digging so deep into your eyeball crusty bones.
Ew.
That, I know, but it was like you're
gross.
You were sounding all mealy mouth.
What? Was I talking all mealy mouth?
Mucus is romantic.
Those sounds are. There's no modern Star Treks.
Snot.
Our sounds are so
Self-replicating mucus.
thick with.
Vanilla mucus is not my jam. Those kids can learn a lot from mucus like that.
Mucus neutralized. Have a nice day.
Mutageosilus arneopolis.
I apologize. I shouldn't have interrupted because we still haven't even gotten through.
So wait,
half of our front matter.
Anyways, I was simply saying that you were talking about how it had little jokes and things, and so that you have to take that into account when pulling the sounds out because when it's quiet on either side, it's really easy to pull them out. But when there's sound on either side of the sound you're targeting, you have to be a little more strategic about
more editorial decision.
You have to use more strategery. Is that still in the zeitgeist? Strategery?
I do not believe it is, Dan.
Cool.
Nice.
Oh, wait, this one is a background thing. It's not a word, but listen for the background.
Cool.
There's a little do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Again, not just
That's like from
clever word jokes, but sound jokes as well.
Is that from sounds like a PlayStation when you boot up an original PlayStation?
I don't know.
Is that the PlayStation
I
that
don't
makes
think
that
it
noise?
is.
No,
It might be evocative of
there's a console that when you boot it up, it goes do 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 do.
I think that is the PlayStation, the original PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but I don't know that sound.
No, I'm
is
not
familiar.
saying it's specifically that. I'm saying it's
evocative of that.
evocative of that.
Purposefully or otherwise.
Yes. Shit. Yes.
Okay, so welcome.
I need to make sure you know it.
Welcome to the It's Got Star Trek podcast, folks.
Greetings.
It is episode 324
I'm aware.
of that venerable podcast. I was like, is something else coming? Tonight.
I hear you.
Tonight, we have a very dense episode here because we are going to be discussing not one, but two episodes of the brand new, just premiered Star Trek Starfleet Academy.
Oh man, unbelievable. This is
Because as is per Paramount Plus tradition, they like to release two of these episodes at once. And they're both pretty long episodes.
Yeah.
So, which I'm not complaining about, but that's just
It's reprehensible.
part and parcel of the whole podcast deal. Sometimes
what in double-bagged hell?
you just got to squeeze them both into one discussion, but that's all right.
You lazy bones.
But since we have to squeeze so much in, Dan and I, we told Jesse, don't even bother coming.
Yeah.
There's no room for you tonight.
Yeah.
No room for your clever little side quips and your grunts.
No
and your,
room.
And your effing and jeffing and all that. So we were like, stay home tonight. Just fooling. Actually,
Just fooling. We miss Jesse.
yeah, Jesse's not feeling well tonight, so he couldn't join us for this discussion. But
And more importantly than his well-being, he can't help us on our podcast tonight.
Yeah.
It's much more important than his well-being, right?
yeah, did that make sense? But
More important than his well-being is the fact that he can't help us tonight on the podcast.
I don't know.
What is more important?
What is more?
What is more relevant to our situation? What is more important to talk about is not that he's sick. That's not the important part.
Okay.
The important part is to talk about how he cannot help us tonight.
Okay, it was a little confusing, but I think
Yeah.
I think I get what you're saying.
I am, of course, kidding, Jesse. You're in my thoughts. I hope you you are well.
He's not that fucking sick.
Have I said something inappropriate?
But yes,
frightening?
we will be discussing both the Starfleet Academy premiere or pilot, whatever you want to call
What's
it.
a pilot?
Kids these days,
It's time to build the future.
and the second episode 2, beta test.
It is my great honor to welcome you all back to Starfleet Academy.
Oh, that might be a little extra joke in there somewhere.
Extra joke?
No.
What joke is there?
I don't know what the joke would have been. It just had the feeling, it had the pacing of a joke.
Okay.
There's gonna be some other joke in it.
Sorry, Charlie.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm not complaining.
I am Sam. Are we friends now?
Okay. So a couple of things just to say.
Captain.
Just to say right up front, at front of the podcast.
The front matter, as you
the front matter.
so love to call it.
Introductory portion
gross.
of the episode. We did have a really excellent response to last week's WTHHIHTB, aka Where the Hell Have I Heard That Before? So look forward to that. In the third break, we'll announce the winner, who got the right answer to that game. And the way that game works is we play a clip from somewhere in the Star Trek franchise. You send in the guesses, or if you know the answer, you send in the answer, and then we announce it on the podcast. And then we will play the clip for next week. Okay, so
Facts are facts.
that will be coming in the third break. Now, note to
Wow.
new listeners, we often get new listeners when we start a new television program, particularly if it's a brand new Star Trek. So this episode of the podcast is bound to be a little bit more ridiculous than normal because we are squeezing a lot into one episode when we're talking about these two episodes. So we will try to calm down a bit next week. What do you think, Dan? Do you think we can manage that?
Okay.
I don't know.
But before we get into our discussion, because we're gonna have all sorts of stuff to discuss, and I'm sure Dan, do you have any lists?
I got a couple lists.
Got some lists. You have any lists with clever names?
The clever named lists.
Like a
Well, I got
worth
one.
name in the list, or is it sufficient just to say Dan's got some lists of things that he's going to go over? Lists of things from these episodes.
I've got one called Aki moves.
Aki,
Ake,
like Captain Ake.
Is it Ake? Ake?
Yeah, I think it's Captain Ake.
I've got one called Ake moves.
Okay.
And I've got also another one called Relaxed Ake.
Okay. So
And then
a couple focused on Holly Hunter's character.
Yeah. She was in The Piano with Sam Neill, right? Wasn't that Sam Neill?
Was Sam Neill in The Piano? I haven't seen The Piano.
Oh, you haven't seen The Piano?
I heard it's great. I love Sam Neill. She was in Raising Arizona.
With Nicolas Cage.
She was in The Incredibles.
The Incredibles?
The voice of the Stretchy Mom.
Yes, that's right.
It's all over all them Rule 34 sites that I don't know about.
Oh, no. That sounds horrible.
Well,
I mean, whenever you get something, I don't know. It's just like, I don't know, there's implications involved that I don't really want to talk about. No, I'm sorry, it's not. Yeah, it is Sam Neill. Sam Neill is in it, isn't it? And but also
great.
Harvey Keitel.
Yes.
And Anna Paquin. I didn't know. Oh yeah, Anna Paquin plays a daughter. That's right.
I think Anna Paquin. That was her big breakout role. Did she get nominated for an Oscar for that? She may have.
I am not going to look that up. I don't care.
Okay.
I mean, I do care, but I don't care right now.
Well, there you go, new listeners. You learn a little bit about what our proclivities are, at least.
We're learning so much about each other.
At least with regard to New Zealand film. I'm a big fan of Sam Neill. He's one of my favorite actors.
Yeah. I still need to watch In the Mouth of Madness again, because I saw it once and I don't remember very much about it.
I saw that once in the theater and I loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's any good, but I loved it when I watched it.
Right.
Because Sam Neill was in it. He's great. There's a great movie. Sam Neill's in a crazy movie called Obsession. No, Possession. It's called Possession.
That's a totally different.
It is a totally
imagery.
different movie. Possession. It's fantastic. And
Some real shit.
and don't get mad at me if you watch it because it's a great movie, but you might get mad at me if you watch it all the way to the end.
Well, now I have to watch it.
Okay, but first
I still need to see The Deer Hunter.
we have. Oh man, that's a great movie, but yeah, intense. We do have a quick email. Well. Yeah, this qualifies as a quick email. It's a quick email from longtime superfan Emmanuel Croft.
It's miraculous.
And the subject line is eat or meat.
I thought I was just going to say eat shit.
No.
Oh dear.
No. Our longtime superfan did not write us an email. Just eat shit. Now, last week, we were discussing Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. And during that discussion, it came up that there's that line where Khan says, let them eat static.
Okay, I'm about to get...
Or let them meet static. We had a debate about which he was saying. We asked the listeners to write in and let us know what they thought.
So this is this is what I predict this will say, because I don't know what it's going to say.
Okay.
I predict he'll say that I was right about the quote being let them eat static. I think that he's going to dunk on me about my interpretation of why they said that.
All right. So Dan's prediction is that he is going to be proven correct but insulted. Right?
I mean, in a nice way.
In a nice way.
But
Jesse can offer no prediction because Jesse is not available at the moment.
Oh.
And I know what the answer is, so I can't participate. So why don't we just proceed? So the subject line is...
Quit dicking around.
The subject line was eat or meat, and... The body of the message said, I think Khan said cool but rude.
Oh. Not even close. Well done, though.
And just to explain the context for those not in the know.
Notice he said cool but rude, which is... I can't even remember.
As opposed to cool but crude. So this is a reference to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles theme music, right? Where it's like Raphael is cool but rude.
Yeah.
Versus Raphael is cool but crude.
Yeah.
Is that
Michelangelo is a party dude.
That's the debate. And we've mentioned this debate many times before. So that is what our friend Emmanuel is referencing. Cool but rude. Very funny.
But he picked rude.
Yeah.
And
that's what I would pick too.
Yeah.
Because that's what the lyric is.
But it's crude.
No, it's rude.
It's crude.
No, it's absolutely rude.
Now, I know that he's said rude, so that's the side that he's going on. He implicitly took your. I was kind of right in my assessment.
Well, it's not implicit; it's rather explicit here. I'm looking at it right now. It says
no. What?
But rude.
No. What I'm saying is that I am right in a way about my assessment of the email, in that I was going to be dunked on, and he implicitly dunked on me by saying "cool but rude."
Yeah. You're right.
When it was a joke about something else we were saying, where it's like, haha, that's funny. He made a joke about what we were saying by referencing something else. But by referencing that something else, he gave his true answer, what he feels about that something else, which is rude, which is what you think, which I don't agree with. And so he's saying, Dan, you're wrong.
Yes, counselor. Counselor, you have provided an excellent argument.
And
there.
so I
absolutely correct. It was implicit dunking, or dunking by proxy.
And dunking by proxy. And I was also wrong because I said that he was going to say that I was right about my interpretation, about my assessment of what the actual words that were said. Yeah. I was going to say let them eat static. Yeah.
But he, in fact, completely ignored
that. And instead, he said that he believes your interpretation of what was said, as opposed to. See what I'm saying?
Oh, you're suggesting that there's a further implication.
Because, like, I said, let them eat static.
Like the hat on a hat of implications, because he's implying by doing cool but rude that he's implying that he would also go with me. Although I don't remember, didn't I say I didn't know whether it was eat static or meat static?
You suggested meat static.
I suggested that sometimes I think it's meat static, and both make equal sense to me.
Well, in any case, if there's a transitive property here to what our subject matter is, he would agree with you about what you think was actually said, because he said crude, which would translate over to meat static instead of eat static, but not really.
All right. Well, thank you, Emmanuel. We appreciate the email.
Meat static. I want some meat static.
When I
what do you think meat static is like? It's like when you walk through outside and there's a bunch of meat static in the air.
No, it's MEET, not meat, not MEAT. You will meet static.
There's not meat static in the air?
Is that where the confusion is? Is that seriously where the confusion is? You thought it was meat static as in like chunks?
No, I didn't actually. I was just musing.
Think so. I apologize for momentarily thinking that you were so foolish.
Hey.
I was dead wrong.
All right. Thanks, Emmanuel. But yes, I laughed my ass off when I opened that email. It was
thanks, Agamus.
Fucking hilarious. Okay, so now let's get started. Let's get discussing this brand new Star Trek show. It's always exciting.
Yes.
New Star Trek. I'm not exactly sure how to structure this. I'm sure we'll be a little bit all over the place.
Yeah.
We'll focus on the pilot episode to begin with.
Mm-hmm.
I think the very brief thing I would note about the pilot episode is I was engaged by it. It was tonally interesting because it started out very kind of dark and intense, and then towards the end drifted more towards what it seems the tone of the show is actually going to be a little bit more about.
I think it drifted in that direction towards the center. At the very end, when there was that battle with Braca, that sort of drifted back.
True.
And by the way, I was not a huge. I loved Paul Giamatti. I want to say first that I really liked the show so far. I liked the second episode better than the first episode. I think the first episode I was not so much into the whole. I think Paul Giamatti's great, but that whole battle at the end, I was not terribly into it.
It was intense.
Yeah.
We'll get to as much as we can get to.
I mean, I guess it makes... I guess it was necessary to set up like what's going to happen later.
Pilot episodes are always difficult because they have to do so much heavy lifting in terms of setting the stage for the character arcs, meeting the people, laying down a foundation for what will presumably be season/series long conflicts, setting up motivations of main characters in terms of missing mothers and cruel captors and all sorts of other alliterative things. And so I think where I found some fumbles in this very first episode, I think it was related to that type of thing where there was stuff that was sort of rushed through. But overall, other than that, I mean, not to spoil anything, I really enjoyed it. I think even more than I was expecting to. I really was not sure what to expect going into this from the previews and all the other stuff. And I found myself really entertained the whole way through.
I think one thing about the first episode, like with the whole battle stuff, is I was concerned that it was just gonna focus on like action, and it was gonna focus on just like just cool shit going on, and but then like especially at the second episode, especially, it started to really get into what I like about Star Trek, where it actually talks about actual sort of issues and things like that.
And the keyword being talks, where people actually have discussions and things about these types of
so
things.
I guess I think I enjoyed rewatching the first episode. I enjoyed it more knowing that it was like it's not gonna just be that all the time.
I had a better time watching
that's
it
actually kind of
the second time.
That's actually kind of what happened to me in the first episode of Prodigy too, because the Prodigy, I was like, oh, is this just gonna be like Star Wars?
Oh, 100%. I think we haven't done full coverage of Prodigy. We covered the first episode and we weren't down on it, but we were kind of like, I don't know, whatever. And then I went on and continued to watch Prodigy, and absolutely retroactively the first episode becomes better because it was very same issue, trying to introduce new characters, new setting, etc. But it was a fast-paced entry into this new thing. But let's start at even the beginning, before the beginning, because the first thing that, presuming you watched this on Paramount Plus, they have that new opening, that Star Trek 60th anniversary opening, that was pretty fun. That went through all the main ships, except it didn't include the Prodigy, which I think some people online have noted. It was TOS Enterprise, and then it went to the Enterprise D, and then it went to the Defiant from Deep Space Nine, and then it went to Voyager, and then it went to the NX-01 Enterprise from Enterprise, and then it went to the Discovery, and then it went to the USS Athena, which is the ship on this show. So it didn't show the Prodigy. No. Did you like that opening? Or did you not care?
I don't.
Did you not see this? Do you have any clue what I'm talking about?
I don't know what I remember the opening from the second one where they were building the thing.
No. I'm not talking about the opening. I'm talking about, like before the show starts. You don't see this? Are you signing?
Before the show starts, it goes like, and then the thing flies.
Yeah, but it was different now because for each show, it's a little different, right? Like on Lower Decks, they had the koala, their ship is flying through space, and they've done a new one for the 60th anniversary. And this conversation is going nowhere because you have no idea what I'm talking about. But the audience at home knows what I'm talking about. Write in at feedback. Write in at feedback at itsgotstartrek.com and let us know what you think of this opening.
And I do a Star Trek podcast.
Well,
granted, anyone can do a podcast, and it shows from my knowledge so far of that part of the shit. Okay.
I guess you just weren't looking at the TV when that thing was going on. You just didn't assume that something was going to be different.
It's like kind of like when I watched the Super Mario Brothers movie. I didn't watch
Super Mario.
I love Mario. I didn't watch the whole end after the credit thing when it shows you the thing after the credits.
Sure.
Yeah. I didn't see that in Super Mario because I didn't think to do it. Even though that's like in every kind of movie, these types of movies now, they have a thing at the end. And I often do check, but often I don't. And so I think that's what it is.
Often wrong soon.
But I don't check for these, like, the show starts, I watch it. The show ends, I see the credits, I stop watching it. The pre thing, Paramount thing, I think I just kind of, I gloss over that.
Next time, take a look.
My eyeballs just turn off or something.
All right, so we can promise you next week, Dan's going to give you a 10 to 15 minute dissection of his thoughts on this opening 60th anniversary Paramount Plus bumper. I don't know what you call it. Whatever.
I yearn for a valiant life.
All right. Yeah, we should actually talk about this episode. But before we do that, how do we shorten it? I'm telling you how we're going to shorten it.
Why'd you ask the question?
Okay, well.
Did you bathe in a bog?
I'm having a little fun here because this is something that also comes up always in the Star Trek fandom, the Society of Star Trekians.
Rich crap.
Checkers.
Rich crap.
Trekkie.
Rich crap.
What is she saying there?
Rich crap.
Wait,
she's talking to the teddy bear. She's like, right scrap? That's Anisha, aka Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Rich crap.
The teddy bear.
All right. That would have been a good sound for WWT THHH. Where the hell has that been there before?
Rich crap.
It would have been, yeah. I ruined that.
Well, we can say that for the future.
Oh, shit. Think about the future.
No, okay. Whenever there's a new Star Trek show, there's a big debate, often a big debate on how you shorten the name. And I think people have settled on SFA.
That's what I've done, and I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that.
I'm also into SFA.
I didn't even know that.
Because Dan and I don't always agree on on this. A lot of people, for some reason, at first were shortening it as a SA, which, first of all, it's always better if it's 3 compared to 2. Plus, SA is generally used to denote sexual assault. Like in trigger warnings and things like that. So SA just sort of seems weird.
Failure. Emergency light signal.
And then some people were like STA.
Star Trek Academy?
Yeah, which
but
is
that's
just
not wrong. Yeah.
I mean, it is wrong.
All of those things are grounds for expulsion.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Okay, well, what about lower decks, though? Because I do call that LD.
I think most people call that LD. I always just spell out lower decks. My philosophy has been...
that's weird, though. That doesn't count. That's irrelevant to the discussion, though, because the discussion is about how you...
Yeah, but it's...
what's it called? Initialize?
It can be initialized. It can be abbreviate.
Well, what's the one that means
abbreviate is
what's
too
the one
short.
that What's the one that where you shorten it and it turns into a word?
That's an anagram.
And no, there's a different word. You're just talking shit.
That's a well, the initialism is where it's just initials.
Yes, but then there's something.
God damn it! Why am I not remembering?
It's like Starfleet Intelligence Research Request is Sir. That was in episode 2.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay. We do need to move along home to our discussion. SFA is what we're going to go with. You can write in at feedback@discussstartrek.com and let us know if you agree with that.
Acronym is the other word we're looking for.
Of course it's acronym. That makes sense.
Yeah, you said it. Of course it is. I said that already.
No, but I forgot it.
Yeah, I forgot it. Yeah, it's acronym is when it says a thing. And initial. So what's the difference between an abbreviation and an initialism?
They're both abbreviations. Abbreviation means to shorten.
Yes, but there's got to be a difference between initialism.
Between initialism and an acronym. An acronym means it makes a word.
I know that. I just said that.
An abbreviation is just anything that's shorter.
You're explaining the thing that I explained back to me.
Sorry, Ricky Ricardo.
I didn't sound like that. Well, according to AI, an abbreviation is a general term for shortened words like DR for doctor, while initialism is a specific type of abbreviation using first letters that you say individually. So it's a type of abbreviation. It's not what you said.
It's exactly what I said.
Okay, we're moving on.
100%.
I'm gonna
100%.
You son of a bitch.
A lot of bitches and whatnots in this.
It's reprehensible.
Yeah, there was a lot of cursing.
All right, so SFA. SFA.
I thought you were saying like, I thought there was some kind of like French word for like moving on or something. So SFA.
Oh, I thought you thought I was doing like the letter S. The word of and then a as in some sort of way to euphemism for something.
Uvulate?
No. Anyway,
I thought you were being fancy in a way. I mean, like as of a, we're moving on.
You're always accusing me of being fancy.
I was dead wrong.
Now, again, we are discussing this episode.
Yes,
we're going to discuss the episode. But another important thing to note, is that we've shifted aspect ratios.
I did not notice that. From which show?
Well, I'm going to explain because
my bad.
This show.
I did it, Patrick.
Sorry,
that was rude.
This show is being presented in 16:9 format, aka 1.78 to 1.
Of course,
right? So that's the one that fills your whole screen.
Yeah.
You should have said that first.
This is a shift from what we've been watching on most of these shows has been 2.39 to 1.
Oh my goodness.
So Strange New Worlds, Picard, and later season Discovery. I think Discovery season 1, maybe season 2, they used 2 to 1 framing. 2.39 to 1 is the super widescreen, right?
Chief O'Brien.
So you have black bars on the top and the bottom, and it's like super cinematic.
I mean, I
Lower Decks was 16:9.
I kind of prefer it when it fits like our TV at home.
I'm totally down with more cinematic stuff for if it's done for the purpose.
I mean, if it's cinematic, I want it to look like it does in the theaters always, right? Always, however they present it in the theaters, that's what I want at home. But if it's made for TV, I kind of prefer it to fill the television screen. Maybe I'm an asshole because I think
No, you're not an asshole.
I'm just simple.
No, you may have whatever preferences you have, and there's perfectly valid preferences, and I largely agree with you. I'm cool with playing around with aspect ratio if it's done for the reason you need to play with it, right? There's filmic reasons why you would want to show something in a more constrained, like Lord of the Rings or something. I was about to say the Prince of Persia. Jesus.
Prince of Persia.
I meant Lawrence of Arabia.
Diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.
Not fucking Prince of Persia.
There's a
Anyway.
song in Prince of Persia when you died, it would go like diddle-a-doo, diddle-a-doo.
Great game. But anyway, I'm cool with those widescreen aspect ratios when it's used well. And I thought that Discovery and Strange New Worlds and Picard, I thought that often they did really use it very well. However, I'm enjoying this 16:9. It gives it a different flavor because it is fundamentally, this is more of a fun TV show and less of a cinematic adventure. I hear you. Then I'm cool with that.
No, I'm laughing because
Mr. Giggly Pants over there.
I'm laughing because this is something that totally has no effect on my simple mind, and I'm a little. I think it's funny that like it affects your experience, but in a way, I'm a little envious of you because you're able to get a different experience. You have such a profound effect on you as compared to me.
Oh, aspect ratios are wild, man.
Yeah, no, I do, of course, can tell the difference between aspect ratios, and I do notice the difference, but like it doesn't, like, okay, if pan and scan is one thing, that's fucked up.
We don't want no pan and scan.
No, that's fucked up. Yeah. But like, or if they take something and just zoom in so you know they're cutting things off, that's terrible. Yeah. But yeah, I've not tracked all the Star Trek different aspect ratios like you have, and so my laughter and my mockery is really envy in disguise.
All right, good to know. Another example is Full Metal Jacket. People used to be like, I want to get the widescreen version. There is no widescreen version because Kubrick filmed Full Metal Jacket in 4:3 to look like a TV because the Vietnam War, which was the subject matter of the film, people viewed it through the television.
Oh.
So that's using film language to make a point and connect with the audience in a specific way. So, wow. All right, aspect ratios.
Oh, charming!
Yes. So we're gonna take a break.
Wow. So we have covered 2 episodes and we have not started yet.
Oh, no. We're way into the first episode. We talked about the aspect ratio, SFA.
Okay. SFA things that can be applied to the whole season.
Yes. Well, that's part of what we're trying to accomplish today as well. So we're going to take a break, and when we get back, we will continue our discussion of kids these days. Be right back.
Where are you going?
And we're back.
So many things I didn't get to say when last we met.
So, okay. I think it'd be good for us to go over the characters, right?
Yes.
Because the plot is straightforward. Boy, mom gets torn away. Tatiana Maslany is awesome. This sets up
part of the plot.
Holly Hunter. I mean, you all have watched this episode, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're listening to us without watching the episode, that's impressive. But
yeah,
it's great. We love it. We love you. But come on.
This conversation feels so familiar.
Yes. So Holly Hunter, blah blah blah. Captain.
We want to talk about. How about we talk about the different roles of the different professors? Was that not till the next episode?
Well, I mean, some of that comes later, but
so that's the problem with doing 2 at once is I get it mixed up, like which is in which episode.
Well, I think the main thing is because we've already talked a little bit about Holly Hunter. We touched on Paul Giamatti. You suggested that you were not a big fan of this. I'm loving this. I think that's maybe a slight difference of opinion between
not a big
you
fan.
and I.
Well, wait, not a big fan of what?
Of Paul Giamatti's chewing the scenery.
Chewing the scenery?
Okay. First of all, that is a fairly standard term of art.
Is it? I've never heard of chewing the scenery.
You must have heard of chewing
the
when
scenery.
When an actor chews the scenery, William Shatner is often accused of chewing the scenery, as in hamming it up, overacting, etc., etc.
What are these food analogies?
I don't know.
Hamming it up,
anyway,
chewing
what
the
I'm trying to
scenery?
do is I'm trying to confirm or reintroduce this idea because you had hinted at
it's not that
talking about Paul Giamatti that you were saying like I like Paul Giamatti but ... I
think he's great. Like I love like all the movies that I've seen him in. You know, some of my best friends are Paul Giamatti's.
You're just like I love every Paul Giamatti movie that I've seen.
Yeah,
I haven't seen them all, but everyone that I've seen.
Yeah. No,
loved him in it.
I don't think I've ever seen. I haven't seen all his shit, but like I haven't ever watched a movie.
The wine one.
Yes, Sideways. Yes,
I love Sideways.
Yeah, Sideways is great.
He's great.
Yeah, he chugs from the spit thing. You know,
the whole Merlot thing. He fucked up a whole industry.
Yeah,
I know it wasn't his fault, but
yeah. Well, he didn't fuck it up. The writers did, I guess. Or who do you think? Who do you think is directly responsible?
Is it the director? Is it the writer? The production team?
Who knows?
They're springy little zygotes.
doesn't really mean.
Okay, but
okay. Point being,
speak your piece.
I think he's in everything I've seen him in. He's great, and like I think he's playing this role well. It's just maybe I'm not super hyped on the whole super villain that thinks everything's all this terrible shit's hilarious all the time. You know, everything's so hilarious.
I love it.
Like,
I think it's so great.
You know, all the shit's going to shit, and you're going to go to jail for life, and you're just cackling the whole way.
I like his little.
That was pretty cool.
His little clicky finger jewelry.
I did like that. I was also confused. I mean, I guess it was not that confusing, but he took care of Tatiana Maslany, Anisha, and Caleb now, and gave them food, but he seems abusive.
Yeah.
So my only assumption is that like he's using her as like his something.
Yeah. They were careful not to really bring up the idea that Tatiana Maslany's character of Anisha was Anisha Mir was a sex slave. That's what you're trying not to say.
Yeah. Right.
I certainly that is one of the assumptions you can make, but I actually found it kind of interesting that they almost pointedly did not bring that up as a clear implication, even though one could maybe presume in the harsh realities of this time period that could be the case. Could be other reasons though that he's taking advantage of her, because they do talk about how she's got this great mind, just like Caleb seems to show a technical proficiency, etc. That's how she was able to escape from prison. So maybe he was using her. Maybe that's the implication we're supposed to take, is that he was using her to help pirate.
No, and that's actually, that is actually a better assumption to make, and the fact that I went immediately to sex slave is probably like more indicative of myself.
But it should also be noted that I've only made that conclusion just now by talking it out. So it is something they did not make clear enough on the show.
Because he's kind of a dick, right? So when they bring him in and he's all...
That's one of the rushed parts. That beginning part is all like... Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he's all strapped up and he goes, malnutrition really brings out your cheekbones. And he's all like being a dick to her. And he's all like, hey, little fish, you dumb shit face. He doesn't say that. But you know what I'm saying? He thinks it's all hilarious, and that these people that he supposedly cares about, they're getting tossed away. He thinks that's hilarious. He doesn't give a shit about anyone. Well, if he doesn't give a shit about anyone, he must have been getting something very practical from taking care of them. So I
think we worked it out. I think we worked it out in the end. Yeah. But that's okay. I totally can understand why people, and you're not the first to kind of not respond well to his character.
I think there's nothing wrong with that idea. It feels a little over the top at times.
And for me, that's what I'm enjoying about it, because I enjoy an over-the-top character. Right? When Paul Giamatti goes on TV and says his favorite Star Trek villain is Gul Dukat, that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Right?
Gul Dukat is great.
He likes General Chang from Star Trek 6 as well. The theatrical villains I'm into. Now, I agree with you, Dan, in principle, that it can't just be that. There has to be something else going on to make the character more interesting.
And I want to clear that I'm not saying that I dislike the character and he pisses me off.
I get it.
Sometimes it feels like feels a little bit of an assault, and maybe that's what they're going for. But it's
I totally get it. And the thing is that I think it's possible that one slight vibe difference between you and I when watching the show, because I think this is very common in the Star Trek fandom. There's different ways to approach the show, and the theatrical stuff bothers some people more. I'm one of the people where I'm like kind of into the theatrical setups, like they have with Paul Giamatti is using the holographic projector, and they're doing this little dance. It's a choreographed dance that Captain Ake and he are having, and she blows his hologram away. Like, I can totally get why that would piss off people, because it's not quote unquote realistic. For me, it's fun space fantasy.
That is part of one of my lists. Ake moves.
Ake moves.
She has a lot of those moves, those choreographed sort of moments where she kind of strikes a pose.
Well, how about this? We've just talked about Paul Giamatti's character.
I wanted to bring up Paul Giamatti's. You want to go into the
list? I was going to say we could go into the Ake moves list, but if you've got something else to say about what's his name, Nutcracker?
Braca. By the way, I think
it's Nutcracker, right? News Braca.
Something Braca.
News Braca. News means nut in German.
I think.
Doesn't it? Nuss? I think it's
Speaking of names, I know
hazelnuts.
Speaking of names, I know this is the next episode, but I think the name of the exocomp is Almond Basket.
It is Almond Basket. Yes.
That's what was the one in Lower Decks?
Peanut Hamper.
Peanut Hamper.
Yeah.
So okay.
Again,
is this like an exocomp thing?
It's an exocomp thing. Absolutely. I think is wonderful.
Okay, so what I was going to say about
Paul Giamatti,
Giamatti, Nutcracker Boneface,
half Klingon, half Tellarite.
Yes, half Klingon. He's a Klingerite. Telenon.
Telenon sounds so ridiculous.
No, Klingerite. Is that?
I think he refers to himself as a Klingerite.
Klingerite. Okay. Anyways, so he is.
What?
I can't remember what.
You lost your train of thought?
Yeah, I guess.
Choo-choo, Dan. A choo-choo.
Okay, well.
How about this? If it pops back into your mind, you have a get out of jail free card, a podcast get out of jail free card that you can insert that comment anytime you want.
Yeah.
Although it might be difficult because you're gonna be doing the list of the Ake moves.
Yeah, I know.
Unless you want me to vamp about Ake for a bit because
talk about Ake for a second.
All right. So audience at home, you and I. We're going to get together. We're going to talk about Captain Ake a little bit while Dan furrows his brow. He's just jamming his fingers into his temples, hoping that stimulates his brain a little bit. I'm really digging Captain Ake, right? Holly Hunter is making this character.
I remember what I was going to say.
Right.
Okay, keep going.
No. He's a little insight audience, especially new audience that... and this is not just Dan. This is true of me and Jesse as well. We thrive on disrupting the other people, and so Dan was able to remember only when I was sort of getting rolling.
right when you start rolling, that's when I remember. It always works out that way.
Not at the beginning. All right. The point that has been recalled.
It was probably not.
Better be a good one.
No, it's not actually. It's kind of silly. But the first part is, first of all, we want to point out he's part of the Venari Rawl, and do we know exactly what they are? Are they just some kind of syndicate of?
They seem to be like
they're not a species.
A pirate group. Yeah,
they're just some pirates basically.
A federation of pirates.
So he's a Venari Rawl,
which sounds like venereal disease. Which, by the way, if you're going by the proper linguistic what's-its and what have yous, somebody from Venus should be something from Venus should be referred to as venereal, right?
You don't have to say it.
Martian, right? Jovian, venereal, but that sounds like venereal disease. So ipso facto, blinky blanky, Venusian.
No.
Continue your point.
When he said this,
What in deviled egg hell?
He's a Klingerite. What does he know about deviled eggs? And why would he know?
You never had deviled eggs in the original Klingon recipe?
I can't answer that, but
in Star Trek, you can always add that.
I mean, and this is like
Shakespeare's originally Klingon.
This is a real pointless nitpick. I'm going to pull out, and it's not even worth it because it's something that you just kind of accept as a joke, right?
But as we have stated before, it is the right of every Star Trek fan to pointlessly nitpick.
Yes, right. Okay.
Why else would we be watching this television program?
So, can we assume that he's got some universal translator going? Does he speaking English, or is he speaking Klingerite or Klingon or Tellarite?
He's speaking a universal standard.
Is that what he's speaking? I don't know, because when he says, what in the deviled egg hell, that's not just a direct translation. That's one of those things where it's specific to the language.
Again, this goes to the difference between you and I in terms of how we approach the show.
Because the devil, like what in the deviled egg, you'd have to be referencing the food item deviled eggs, which is an Earth food item. You would have to take out of that the word devil and equate it with the idiom what the hell. Yeah. Instead of saying what the hell, you'd say what the deviled egg. Like there's too many abstractions that are contextually relevant only to someone who speaks from an Earth-based language.
The point you're making is a similar point to those who note that the universal translator seems to know when people don't want to have their thing translated as a matter of emphasis. Like when Klingons are talking and they say something and just like some of it is in Klingon.
Right.
Or Picard says something and some of it is in French.
Never pick a fight with a Klingerite, kid.
That's not what I was looking for. That's what I was picking.
So there, that is a difference between our ways of approaching the show. Is that aggravates you? Well, I barely even notice.
Well, this is one of those things, and I've said this a lot of times, where I bring up a point that I note that I feel is remarkable, but it's not remarkable in the sense that it ruins it for me. But it's a little. But I know
it's remarkable in the literal sense of the term, in that it is worthy of remarking.
Yeah, and I
it's
know
not special.
It's I note it in my brain. It's like a little ping in my brain, like in Magic when you ping someone for one in Magic the Gathering.
Is that a term of art in Magic?
Yeah, when you ping, so I ping you for one. Like when you have a product.
I've played Magic the exact same amount of time as you.
Yeah, when you have a prodigal.
I've never used the term.
When you have a prodigal sorcerer and you can tap it to do direct damage of one, that's you just ping someone.
I'm zapping people.
No, you're pinging them.
I'm zapping.
No, you're pinging them.
I zap you for
Tarek, answer this for us, please.
Right, Tarek, please write in at feedback@itsgotstartrek.com or on social media at It's Got Star Trek.
Thank you, Tarek.
Thank you, Tarek. That's our old friend, Tarek.
Whether you do it or not, thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, yeah. So anyway, just to say that, like, it's I noted it doesn't take away from the overall enjoyment, but it is a little bit of like I'm a little bit like
okay. Good. Now, moving right along. Moving along home.
No! I said now! Right now!
See, the thing is, we also were going to talk about Captain Ake.
Oh, yeah.
I really want to get to talking about Laura Throck, but
okay, Ake.
Okay.
Ake moves.
New captain, always another heavy lift for a program to introduce the character, characterization, motivations of the lead captain-ish character.
I'm aware.
In this case, an actual captain. And I'm really loving what Holly Hunter's doing.
Yes.
It's so different, and that's so refreshing, and at the same time is different, but I'm totally buying her as a leader. And I think that's one of the hard things for an actor to do, to come in and inhabit a role where you believe that people would listen to them. And I think she seems like somebody I would absolutely be like, I believe that this is a 400-year-old person who knows her shit.
She's a part Lanthanite.
Part Lanthanite!
Which, as we know from Strange New Worlds, is
they live a super long time.
Yeah, what's her name? The engineer.
Yes, exactly.
Not Scotty.
Not Scotty.
What's her fucking name?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah,
Pelia. Yeah. Pelia, and I don't know. I guess half Lanthanites live as long. We don't know how long Lanthanites live.
I think Pelia is like 5,000 years old or something.
So maybe she only lives to be 1,000 or something.
Because she's part Lanthanite.
What is that? I am some thousand.
Yeah, that's They Might Be Giant song called I am 1,000 years old.
Only one. That's Ake.
You're old, or no? Actually, it's just called like older. I think you're older than you've ever been, and now you're even older, and now you're even older, and now you're even older. Anyway, no, that's it.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. So, Lanthanite, Captain Ake, fantastic.
Yeah.
I think look, we could talk about, there could be a whole episode on her, and maybe we'll do that at some point. But long and short of it, she's doing a great job right from the beginning.
So she's got all these, her personality, right? So she's got these moves she does. She's super lax and relaxed all the time is her main thing. Like she goes, so if we want to, start with this list is kind of a 2-episode spanning list is the problem with this list.
That's fine.
That's fine.
You can play it a little loose.
So
because she plays it a little loose. I like the suggestion made by some people online in response to people complaining about how loose Captain Ake is. Some people are like, she's so unprofessional, but other people have pointed out, yeah, she's part Lanthanite. She's been around forever. If you're around forever, one response might be like not giving a shit about the arbitrary nonsense, like whether or not you're allowed to wear shoes, right? You're old enough and experienced enough to know it really doesn't matter in the end.
So yeah, it turns out the list in one was called Ake moves, and then I kind of split it off into choreography Ake and relaxed Ake, but like they all kind of sort of talk around the same thing. So I'll just start. So for example, in this first episode, we see her sit in the captain's chair, and as soon as she's getting ready to warp to San Francisco, she starts lounging in the chair like she's watching TV on a couch, right? She's got her foot up there, all just chilling. Like that captain, it must be,
and that's after she had to adjust it.
Yeah,
which it was very adorable.
Yeah, and I'm wondering when they put that into place, because didn't Trip Tucker, wasn't there an episode where Trip Tucker III had to come in there
that's
and
the other side of the old that's pre-Starfleet, but
there was no adjusting lever. He just had to bring out a wrench and
on
shit.
Enterprise, there's an entire episode subplot where Trip Tucker is obsessed with fixing Captain Archer's chair, adjusting it to the right level.
Yeah,
he's looking for the sound clip.
You're a greedy son of a bitch.
Exactly. Right. All right.
So there's some advantages to being tiny.
Sure.
One is you can like relax like a couch in the captain's
100%.
chair. And then after the scene where Caleb hacks the comms and Genesis kind of walks in on him.
Genesis.
It comes back.
What is Genesis?
What is Genesis?
Okay, you can't do this on Nintendo. Genesis does. It's funny because you're not even playing the Genesis does part. You're relying on people
knowledge of an
being old and withered enough to be familiar with an old television commercial for the Sega Genesis.
And it's not even something that they could be like, oh, I should look that up. What he's talking about. It's like, how would you look that up?
You wouldn't even understand what it is.
Yeah,
it's
right.
the Sega Genesis joke.
Genesis does
16-bit arcade graphics.
Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
You can't do this on Nintendo.
Okay.
All right.
That joke is done.
So no, you were referring to Caleb hacking the things when he gets caught by Genesis. By the way, Genesis Live, which I thought was a bit of an on-the-nose name. Her last name is Lithe.
Live.
Genesis Lithe.
Live.
As in lithe, like a ballerina,
Right,
like a dance.
yeah.
Like
I know what lithe
I'm a
means.
snake lady. I don't know.
Snake lady.
All right. So sorry.
So after that, it cuts to the bridge, right? That I just pointed that part out just to give context to visually what we're looking at. Yeah. And then it cuts back to the bridge where Ake is somehow at this point, Ake is looking even more relaxed because before she was like had her foot up like she was watching TV. Now she's pretty much laying down in the captain's chair entirely.
It's like a cat.
Yeah, and it's
like a cat liquefying itself into a couch.
And she's reading a book, and both of those, she looks kind of like she's striking a pose in that. And then of course the whole Braca taking over the ship, that choreography you mentioned, she starts negotiating with him. He goes, "Quit dicking around." He walks towards the captain's chair, and she blocks him, and then she like kind of flops
into it,
and lays down like even more lay downy than the previous two times. And that was a super pose because her head was in her hand, her legs were crossed. Like it was like very deliberate how she was doing that. Yeah, and then in the next episode, she meets up with there was a relaxed Aki. She meets up the whole scene with her and Commander Kelrick. I don't know if she was doing this to specifically annoy him or if that's just how she is. I think it was a little both.
I think it was a bonus. A little both. Yeah.
I think she enjoyed making him uneasy because she meets up with him and she's all in like relaxed clothes and she's wearing no shoes and he's disturbed by this and she starts going on about electrons somehow like powering your brain or something through your feet or
hippie silliness.
Yeah, right. And then
whatever. I'm down with going barefoot too.
Yeah, I'm
pro barefoot.
I'm barefoot a lot. Yeah. I walk barefoot outside all the time, and it's fun because you build up those calluses on your feet. You can go anywhere.
And electrons.
Yeah. Well, the problem is now I have so many calluses on my feet, the electrons can't get through. They can't get through. Yeah. So then when she's talking to him, she sits on some used table. It hasn't even been bussed yet. Yeah. He's like, ugh. Yeah. And then she grabs an old mug, just some that was some random stranger's mug, right? And she drinks from it, and she doesn't know whose it is, and he's just like, goo, And then even at the end of the conversation, she's loose with him because she lightly backhands him on the shoulder, and he's all Mr. Stuffy Stuff. I mean, it's kind of to repeat what you said on the nose a little, I guess, to have the one person who's super relaxed and the super anal retentive person, but it works. I think it works.
It works when it's utilized well, and I think thus far they've been utilizing this.
And because I don't feel that they're over the top with how anal retentive Kelrick is. He's not super.
It's more effectuated.
He's not super performative about how he's anal. You can just tell it bothers him.
An important thing I think.
Like you wouldn't. It wasn't like it was presented at the beginning, him like being super organized with all his stuff, and then she walks in. It's just like you didn't find out he was like this until their first meeting when she was like that.
You're finding out about both characters because of the interaction.
Yeah,
and that's
exactly.
good writing, right? That's efficient characterization.
There was actually, and we can talk about this later, but Thok and Reno, the way they did that was the same thing. It was relevant to the story at hand. The whole thing wove together. Yes. It wasn't the whole story at hand and their situation, and both things weren't independently introduced. They were introduced together in a way that sort of synergize actually, and to sound cheesy, but they
a little cheesy, yeah.
a little cheesy. They
You just said it's synergize.
I know I said synergize. What I'm saying is they benefited each other. They benefited each other as opposed to introducing each plot point separately. They put them together and
just
they
for the
benefit
audience
each
at
other.
home. For the audience at home, Dan, for some reason, it looks like he's milking a cow.
Okay.
He's doing like sort of tugging on udders. He's saying like plot points separately and making little cow udder milking things.
Okay.
All right, you're gonna play a cow udder milking.
You're messing with me?
Your challenge
I
holds
think
no value.
I think
for
that's
me.
a really good example of how the show I think has done a nice job of explaining to the audience who these people are by how they're interacting with each other. But importantly, every character we've been introduced to so far, both among the cadets, the professors, everybody, they are competent. And what's the name of the commander of the war college again? Kelrek. So Kelrek has this affectation of being stuffy, whatever, anal retentive. But he's also shown to be competent. They're not acting like he's some dumbass who's like leading this boatload of asshole chuckle fucks, right?
Yeah.
They are good at what they're doing. And that also happens with the cadets that we meet, right?
I actually wasn't quite done with my list. I had one last thing.
All right. So my very soft segue into the cadets, I'm going to retract that for the moment.
Okay.
And you can continue that,
there was
that
one
list of
there was one more important choreographical moment was when the doctor was talking to her about samples of mucus.
Was this in the
second
in the
scene.
lift?
There was Thok, the exocomp.
Yes. But that was in one of those, what do you call it? It was an elevator thing. It was
like a turbo lift?
Yeah, it was
I don't know what they call it.
No, it is a turbo lift. But
Why do they need turbo lifts?
They still got hallways and shit and
when you
decks.
walk through a zap door and it cuts your hair, can you walk back through it and uncuts your hair? Can it take programmable matter and make hair?
Sure, why not? But in the turbo lift, it just is a super comfy turbo lift with a chair. I think.
Yeah,
you can sit down. I think it was a turbo lift. I don't think it was just like a weird closet room.
I just don't know why they would need turbo lifts if they can walk through a door.
I think it was a turbo
They can walk through a door in the ship and end up in San Francisco and back again like it was nothing.
Yeah. Every time you say San Francisco, I think of the song.
I didn't like that either, actually, when they played that song at the end.
You just said, I didn't like that either. I didn't say I didn't like that. I just
I didn't say that you didn't. I said either. We were talking about things that I was not.
Okay.
Sorry.
So in addition to other things you didn't. Okay.
I did, and I didn't. And that's a strong way to say it, because it's not that I so much didn't like the Braca stuff. I thought some of it was a little too much for me. I really was. I don't know that the whole San Francisco thing.
Was it the song itself, or was it?
I think I don't really like that song. First of all, and I didn't like the rendition either. I think maybe that was it.
Rufus Wainwright doing that.
I don't know.
So it's both the rendition and the song
With
itself.
a flower in your hand. It's like.
I find this song a little squidgy. I didn't mind it in this context. I got the point they were making. But I'm with you that the song makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, it does. I think maybe it's maybe it's just some of the songs of that era make me. I love a lot of the songs of that era, but some songs of that era make me feel weird.
Because you know what happened afterwards. There's the problem with some of the hippie stuff. I'm very hippie-ish.
They caused the creation of Forrest Gump.
It's not no. It's not that. I mean, that plays into it a little bit, unfairly on my part. But it is. You have all this like, hey, happy, and then like 1968, 69 happened, and then 1970 happens, and then I don't know.
You know that song is like all the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. Yeah. And now when you musically, that song actually is like a really good song musically.
Very interesting.
And
musically.
I've heard some renditions of it that really rock, but that the original version. I'm not going to say it's a bad song because it's not, but it makes me feel weird inside. It makes me feel weird.
And I think it's the exact
it.
same reasons for the San Francisco song. I think it occupies a similar space.
Yeah, All right. Anyway, so what I was saying is there was a super choreography scene where she sits, the doctor sits, he says some shit.
On the seashore.
He says some shit about mucus. He says some. Okay, I'm gonna start over because you interrupted me and got me off my game.
All this music talk.
She sits and doctor sits. He says some shit about mucus. She gets up and moves across the way. Yeah. He follows her and sits. Talks some more shit about music. She gets up and moves next
mucus.
to.
Sorry. Sorry. I shouldn't have pointed out.
I said mucus.
No, you said music.
I said mucus.
I promise you said.
Okay, mucus. I'm gonna listen back to this later.
It's okay. All right.
We're gonna figure this out by next week.
Mucus,
she moves across the way, and he follows her, and he sits, and she talks more about mucus. Then she gets up to sit closer to Thok.
Yeah.
The exocomp gets off and is all like, okay. And then he moves closer to her, and then she moves even like then she scooches down so she's even closer to Thok, so Thok has to move, and then the exocomp has to move across the way, and is like, wow. And then the doctor keeps on talking to her. Like, that was even more choreographed than the Braca scene. It was super choreographed. And I enjoyed it, but it looked very choreographed, is the thing.
Yeah. It was all right. It wasn't the best executed humor, but it does bring up the point that humor turns out to be an important and ever-present element of this show. I think to its benefit, at least thus far, from what we've seen. We do have to take another break, but when we get back, we will finish up our discussion of the new characters in this episode, and then we'll talk about beta test, and then we'll conclude the episode, and we'll talk about.
So we got one more break.
So we got this break, and then that's it. This is it. Yeah. Okay. So
all right.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God.
We will be right back.
Doctor, I would do almost anything to end this conversation.
The negotiations are over.
Let's retire for the night.
We will leave in the morning.
Dismissed.
Dismissed.
And we're back.
Sound off.
Love it here. Love it here.
I hear you.
I like when she says, I hear you, because what was that? That was after Thok was dying, and she goes, I want people to be less cheerful when I'm dying. Isn't that what she said? Isn't that how it goes? Isn't that how the scene goes? Isn't that how the scene goes?
I don't know. Remind me, Dan. You have a access to a
a
transcript, a script?
Yeah, it goes. When they're talking about
who's they? Set the scene for us, Dan.
Jaden and Sam are healing Thok, who's dying, and then she's directing Jaden, and he's like, you gave me bad directions, essentially. And she goes, yeah, this has been a really long journey. And then Thok goes, if I'm going to bleed to death, I require significantly less cheerfulness in my final moments, which is pretty funny in of itself. Yeah. And then she goes, I hear you.
I hear you. That was Sam saying that?
Yeah.
What does Sam stand for again? Did you catch what Sam stood for?
Sam stood for?
It stands for something. It's SAM, capital letters. I'm not going to reopen this whole abbreviation initialism acronym debate, but it is an acronym in this case.
Yeah, I had it written down, but I don't know how to look that up. But I want to point out that I appreciate. So they have so far in this episode, you have two characters that you could consider to be
Spock data analogs.
No, that's. You're doing the thing where you're trying to finish my sentence.
You asked a question.
I didn't ask a question. I did not ask a question. I did not ask a question.
Okay, maybe you didn't.
Honestly, did not.
Thinking back, I think I'm realizing that you did not, in fact, ask a question.
I'm trying to think of the best way to word this. Sort of a non-neurotypical.
Yes, of course, non-neurotypical.
And that would be Sam would be one, and the other would be Tarima. Those are the two non-neural, because Tarima, because Tarima has the neural inhibitor, because to
limit her, she's got maybe what was that fella's name on TNG? I'm thinking in Nabrantane, but that's not it. Tam Elbrum. Tam Elbrum in TNG was a Beta Z who had super psychic powers, and it caused problems.
Well, and
she's implied that she has the same thing, except they've controlled it with this little device.
Yeah, and she goes,
I feel things.
And then
too strongly.
Too strongly. And then when she feels these things so strongly, she can hurt people. Yeah. And so she's got very these strong emotions.
I empathize with her. I relate to that because I cry at commercials.
And then
I'll cry at a commercial.
Look, the reason I say that say that's not neurotypical is not maybe in the traditional sense that people associate it with, but I from personal experience, I've gotten in some trouble in school for being way too over the top with some of my emotions, especially
feeling too hard.
Yeah, especially in elementary school, I got in a lot of problems. I had a lot of problems in elementary school from that kind of stuff.
Get any problems with that fella Bronco?
No.
Bronco? Long-time listeners may or may not, because I can't remember if we've actually talked about it on the podcast.
I don't know.
There was this fella named Bronco. He was a cool guy, though, right? Yeah. Wasn't he a cool guy?
He was okay.
Bronco
I don't know.
was-
I have no idea why.
All right, he was all right.
I don't know why.
I only remember him because his name was fucking Bronco. That was his actual name.
I don't know why you're bringing up Bronco. It seems like you're trying to steer away
I'm
from
just
this.
saying-
It seems like you're trying to steer away from this topic that
an
I'm
awesome name.
It feels like you're trying to steer away from this
No,
topic.
not at all. Please refer. Neurotypical, non-neurotypical.
Anyways, the point I'm trying to make is that when you have emotions that are like that
are intense,
and they sort of manifest in an intense way, it can cause problems fitting into what adults expect you or other people in society, sort of, to use that sort of generic like in society, man. They sort of like expect you to sort of behave, and they try to sort of silence that in a way. And I don't know if that's proper. You could way of using that term, but I consider it so because, you're basically being told the way you feel things is wrong, and you need to chill out so you can weird people out less and function more normally among all the other people. And so that's sort of like what I feel Tarima's got. And then Sam, she's
a hologram.
Which is kind of weird.
She's filling the slot that was Spock or Data, the more Data-ish in terms of wanting to integrate, wanting to be able to connect.
But
with these
it's
other
interesting
people.
with her because from the start, she's very, her communication methods are different than other people because she's trying to figure out how to sort of fit in with everybody else. It's interesting that they chose to make her a hologram, but it works pretty well.
I like that. I like this character. I think we're very lucky that it's being performed well.
Yeah.
Carice Brooks is Sam. I think that this is one of those characters that if it's played or handled the wrong way is obnoxious. I did not find this character obnoxious in this episode.
I'm really digging her character so far.
In all of these cadets, I think each of them has aspects to them that are relatable to the audience.
What does the internet think of Sam? Because like you said, this role can really be easily botched and annoying. But I think I really like her character.
I think
so
overall
far.
the response has been very positive.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of folks are in line with my thinking or my view that this character is working well so far because it's performed well and I think it's written in just the right way to not be annoying, but also you do understand like where some of the people are complaining about her. Like, you're sucking up all the energy in the room. Like,
yeah, that was from Pickford. She has no room to talk. She swallowed a combat.
Yes.
How do you swallow a combat?
Yeah,
I get it's a joke, but still, like,
hey,
how does
it's
that
Star
happen?
Trek. She could be some crazy alien with the.
I think Pickford's deal is because she was also saying "Red Alert" out loud.
Yes.
when that's done by the alert.
That was one of the tonally disturbing things because
Yeah.
that looked like a Vietnam movie. Like you're like her like the people who like their arm is blown off and they're just carrying their arm around. She's like, red alert, red alert.
Yeah,
Except they played it for comedy.
Yeah, right. And
You don't have to say it.
That was less of a problem in beta test.
What I was going to say for her is it seems like her character is just like really high strung and high anxiety, and I guess the reason she probably said that to Sam was like, you're sucking up all the energy in the room, because Sam's like happiness was somehow giving her anxiety. It wasn't annoying her, it was giving her anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
which in and of itself is relatable. Again, so it's all been very quick and a little bit rushed, particularly in the first episode. It's been more paced out in beta test, but they're doing a great job of characterizing these as teenage young people.
I like the idea of a Klingon that is, Thok from the start assumes he's running from shame, and the only reason she thinks that is because he's a Klingon that's like into science
and bird watching.
And so she assumes she's like, you're running from shame, aren't you? You know, she just thinks that, which is fucked up, but she's probably right. But that's interesting to introduce a Klingon character like that.
And he's super sexy too.
Yeah,
and his name is Jaden. That's got to be a joke. I mean, it's a joke that is just like a silly. Okay, I'm sorry if your name is Jaden. I'm not trying to make fun of your name, Jaden. But Jaden. It's like Jaden.
Not.
Jaden, Caleb is the same deal. You're just kind of like, oh, it's one of those names, except he's a Klingon, so it's like Jaden Crag.
Yeah.
I am Jaden Ka.
He's really putting on a voice there.
Yeah.
Like he's putting on like it's got to hurt his voice.
I imagine it does. A super crunchy voice, but
Little stompy stomps.
But again, a very interesting,
Little stompy stomps.
interesting character right from the beginning. And again, I think so much of this works because all of these actors are doing a great job. Every single actor I've seen so far in this main cast, I've been impressed by how they've interpreted and inhabited the roles that they've been playing.
That made me, for some reason, think about Darem, or is it Darum? I can't remember.
Are you talking about
the guy who turns blue?
The asshole fella?
Yeah, there's always an asshole fella that gets along with the main character in the end.
Yeah,
Yes, Dick!
Darum Raimi.
Darum. So there was the scene at the end of the first one where he turned blue and he wanted Genesis to...
Because he's a fish person with a fish dick, a little fish dick, which is, again, something that in beta test, that humor. I like... I like... What was that in reference to? Because you were talking about Genesis?
Yeah, and you were talking about fish dicks, and I said Genesis, and you started talking about fish dicks, and I was like, you can't do this on Nintendo. But the reason...
Darum has a fish dick, according to Caleb.
Yes, right, he does.
Yeah.
Okay, but the point I was making was when he turned blue, he told Genesis to turn around so she wouldn't fall in love with him, but really he was embarrassed.
So she wouldn't fall. Is that why you think? I thought it was because he was embarrassed. Yeah, he was embarrassed.
No, he said. That's what he said. He said, so you won't fall in love with me. And she's like, I'm gonna be fine. And then he goes, just do it anyway. And he was embarrassed. Yeah. This guy who's all cocky and stuff, but secretly he's insecure.
And another excellent thing they've done.
By the way, who has a banana allergy?
I like how he says banana here.
By the way, who has a banana allergy?
It's really interesting to me that they've decided to create this character that simultaneously occupies the space of, like, in the skiing teen movie, he's the rich asshole, like the lead of the rich asshole crew, and then you challenge them to the ski race. He's that piece of shit. He's that role. He's a foil to Caleb, but he's also, again, relatable. He's empathetic, and you want him on your team, even though he's an asshole.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of conflict.
He's a capable person. Again, one of the things that is always fun with Star Trek is the whole competence porn thing, where these people are good at what they do. And I think that they're demonstrating that all of these cadets, for different reasons, they all deserve to be at Starfleet. You can understand why they're there.
Yeah. Yeah, you totally can. We can go over quick. We got the teachers, the different professors, and what they.
Let's start with the Laura Thok, because I think this is going to be the breakout character for the show. Maybe it's too early to say that, but I'm loving Laura Thok. I think Gina Yashir, who I know from the UK comedy circuit, I watch a lot of British TV and panel shows and stuff, and she pops up.
He needs his ass kicked.
She's always hilarious, and it's just amazing to see her do this performance because there's so much life, and I don't know. It's just.
Who do you think you are speaking with, boy?
It's fun, and another thing that's fun about it is you get this. You have the Klingon Tellarite hybrid with Nutcracker Man.
Yeah.
But here you have a Klingon Jem'Hadar.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I think people have even talked about what would happen if Klingons and Jem'Hadar hung out together.
So, and what I was talking about earlier. So, because while you bring up Thok, I should mention I'm glad to see Jet Reno back in the mix. I love Jet Reno. I love Tig Notaro. I think it's fantastic. I love her playing this role because just so deadpan.
Yeah.
She in her deadpan way, she totally put Caleb in his place.
In his fucking place.
And it was total slapstick, but it was kind of funny that after she totally like curried him at the end of all of it, they just had to like cover him in like fucking like goop and make him look make him feel foolish and then make him look foolish.
Just completely humiliate him.
Yeah, but I was
Tig Notaro is so fantastic in this role.
And actually, wait, the point I'm about to bring up, that might have not actually happened in the third episode. Did that happen in the third?
Are you saying there's something that happened in the third episode? No. The mucus stuff happened in the second episode.
There's something else I'm thinking about that happened in the third.
You don't want to reveal that yet. Okay. You tell me No, we're out of breaks. No, we're not out of breaks. Are we out of breaks?
Yeah, this is the last one.
Breaks. Okay, you're right. So you have to tell me after the podcast.
So next week, I'm going to have to this point that I'm bringing up now that I alluded to earlier in the podcast, actually, that Patrick claimed that he knew what I was talking about, but I don't think he did know what I was talking about.
Then I might not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll bring it up next week because it's that relates to next week. See, that's the problem.
Oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. But yeah, I think that's next week. But yes,
Now you know.
Well, there's a little bit in this episode because in this episode we see Laura Thok and Jet Reno know each other, obviously, because they're at the cocktail at that reception.
Yeah,
during the
right.
negotiation. And we're
What is wrong with you?
talking about beta test, by the way. Betazoid. I just got that.
Oh, hey.
Didn't think of that before. I'm a moron.
I just wish that I had your confidence.
But we see Jet Reno's dry humor when Laura Thok says that she would resolve things by just having the best of theirs against the best of ours, and they fight it to the death.
Right.
And Jet Reno's all like, it's like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, they just played that.
What is wrong with you?
Yeah. And then as they're going off, that you can hear her in the background going like, seriously, what the hell is wrong with you? But so
again, one thing to look forward to in this show moving forward, pay attention to little background, little audio bits. There are so many jokes hidden, and some of them are more obvious than others. On the second watch through, I heard so many more things, including from Stephen Colbert, the voice of the school computer, which is hilarious. Doing all the little announcements about Talaxian fur flies and all whatnots.
So we have Thok. We see her as the combat training teacher, and Jet Reno is teaching temporal mechanics. The whole combat training scene, they did the joke where that girl all ran away, and she was all proud of herself, all laughing, like, I can always spot the runner.
She ran by Boothby Park. That was an Easter egg.
Oh yeah, there was also Kirk,
James T. Kirk Pavilion.
There was Hoshi
Sato.
There was Sato Atrium.
Sato Atrium, yes.
It was the Sato Atrium. Yeah, Sato Atrium,
which is a great set, by the way. Apparently, it's like one of the biggest sets they've ever built.
And then there's the Turner wing, which is just like.
I like that joke, by the way, because as far as I can tell, or as near as I can tell, the Turner is just some name they made up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Nobody knows who it is, and it's hilarious.
Yeah, but what I was saying is, so this girl that's all scared and she runs away, right? And then Thok
with her flappy arms.
And then Thok all jokes like, I can always find the runner. But you know that she ran straight back to her room and she started crying and she called her mom, was like, I don't think I can do this. And she probably had some like heavy introspection that she had to make after that was probably very traumatic for that girl.
I bet and Thok went and talked to her afterwards.
No,
like,
Thok loved it. She loved it.
Yeah, but she went afterwards and she's like, don't worry, I know you can do this.
Right. You think so? You think she brought her back?
She gave her extra lessons.
I want to see that girl again. I want to see them bring her back.
They should make a point to show her if they haven't already. They should make a point to show her again.
Which I should say in IMDb, some extra characters they list. There was Samuel Israelov played the quote unquote fun cadet. Ashley Poulin played the very small cadet.
But what?
And Katie Reddy Walters.
Reddy? Now, is that like in quotes? Katie Reddy Walters?
No, it's Reddy Dash Walters.
Okay.
Katie Reddy Walters plays our hero, the terrified cadet. Oh, okay. And then in some reason
she did it well.
Yeah, and for some reason in IMDb it says in parentheses, it says afterwards, it says terrified cadet as Katie Nora Reddy Walters. It's Katie Reddy Walters as terrified cadet as Katie Nora. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I don't know what as means.
I guess that was the name that she was using for that credit. Maybe she uses different names.
In TypeScript, that would be that if you put an as, that would be type assertion. So they were asserting her type onto. Never mind. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Well, okay. So
doesn't matter.
A real quick listing. I just want to make sure we acknowledge all the actors. Karim Diane as Jaden. I think it's Georgie Hawkins.
See you in class.
Georgie Hawkins as Darum Ramey. Fantastic. Bella Shepard as Genesis Live. Sandro Rasta as Caleb Meir. Who I also think doing a really good job as this hilariously jacked person.
Yeah,
this monstrous person.
He had to do
21-year-old monster man.
At the beginning, he had to do 200 push-ups, and for some reason that was really difficult for him. Now that could be because he's got so many muscles.
Yeah. Well, and he also had Jaden Craig's bag on his back.
Yeah, that's true as well. He's got those puffy gym-looking muscles, but you know those muscles are not from the gym. That's from a life of difficulty. So you'd think he could do 200%. Okay, when they were talking about having roommates, he was like, "This is fascism. We have roommates." The dude,
Jaden's like, "No,
but like
it's not fascism."
Yeah, but dude lived in prison cells and on the streets, and he's complaining that he has to share a room with someone. He even said right there, he's like, I've never had a room, basically. So he gets a room for the first time and he's complaining that he has a roommate.
He likes to be free.
I was just going to say the teachers, I mentioned that Thok was combat training, Jet Reno was temporal mechanics.
The doctor was doing some.
The doctor was I'm about to mention it. The doctors, instead of saying some bio business, I was about to tell you exactly what it was.
Tell me exactly what it was.
It was xenobiology.
There you go.
Tin Valak, which we don't know much about, but he's a Vulcan. He's xenomythology.
Which was hilarious. He was great. His delivery, that was, I love seeing good Vulcan. When somebody gives you good Vulcan.
Yeah.
It's a good thing because Vulcans are not easy to crack, and not everyone can do a good Vulcan. That guy I thought did good Vulcan with his little joke. When Vulcans joke, and he did that joke about how some cultures toss their shitty asshole teen boys out into the wild. We don't do that currently. That's a good joke.
Yeah,
with his little eyebrow raise.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. The eyebrow raise with his Vulcanness. Yeah. And then there's, of course, Commander Kelrick, who is, I guess, the chancellor of the War College, which is a new thing, right? This whole idea of a War College.
Well, new for us, but not new.
I'm not saying new for them. In fact,
they got rid of Starfleet Academy and started the War College back in the day.
That's what I'm saying. War College is not new. It predates the new Starfleet. Because they even mentioned, speaking of Tin Valak, that they didn't have time to worry about making friends. They were just trying not to die for a while, basically. But I'm saying it's new for us, this concept of this War College.
And we mustn't forget Oded Fair is back as the Hotmerl. Hotmerl Vance, I think, is his rank. Hotmerl? You don't have
what?
Hotmerl?
Who are you talking about?
Oded Fair as Hotmerl Vance. Is that?
Vance. Do you mean Charles Vance?
Yeah,
Admiral Charles Vance? Why are you saying
Hotmerl?
Are you saying because he's hot?
Because he's hot.
Oh, okay.
Did you ever see The Mummy?
The Mummy? No, I never saw The Mummy.
You should see The Mummy. The Mummy's good. Seriously, though. No, for no jokies, Dan, The Mummy's good.
Many people, many opinions.
It's like a variation on Edic, right? Infinite diversity and infinite combinations. But in all combinations, The Mummy is worth seeing.
This moment is that chicken.
Okay. Now we got to get. We're behind the schedule a little bit, so we do want to get to where the hell would I be?
Yeah, there's a lot of, and then we have a lot of duties or no duties.
Don't worry, we got 2 episodes. We can stretch a little if we have to. So, where the hell would I? No, where the hell have I heard that before? WTHHIHTB.
Thank you.
So, okay. This is a fun game we've been playing. People seem to like it so far. If you're not familiar with the game, I play a clip from somewhere in the Star Trek franchise, from any show, any movie.
Wow.
And then,
Great.
You all, the audience has a chance to write in at feedback@itsgotstartrek.com or direct message us on any social media.
This isn't a game.
At It's Got Star Trek, Facebook, Blue Sky, whatever. And let us know if you can name where the clip is from. Give us as many details as you can. I've been trying to make it easier and easier week after week because apparently the clips I was picking were too difficult to hear. Oist it. To hear those, you can listen to previous episodes. But last week I played this clip, and we'll see who guessed it right.
Oh no! It's another Enterprise!
I'm telling you, I nailed it.
Now, Dan, you've been positive you've known what the clip was multiple weeks in a row and have been wrong multiple weeks in a row. Last week, you seemed to be fairly positive you knew where this clip was from. Do you know where this clip was from?
It was from like those dudes that are stupid and in lower decks. They're the stupid guys.
Okay. You have provided what is a valid answer.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a full and complete answer, but it is a valid answer.
Yeah.
It is from lower decks.
Yeah.
It is from those quote unquote stupid guys.
Yeah.
The Pack-Leds.
Oist it.
So, we mentioned Tarek earlier, our old friend. Tarek, he wrote in on Blue Sky, and he said the WTHHIHTB is clearly me opening up Star Trek MTG packs later this year and getting duplicate cards.
Hey!
It's another Enterprise, get it?
Yeah.
Get another Enterprise card?
Yeah.
He goes on to say, or the Pack-Led captain in lower decks freaking out when the Titan shows up.
You're a genius.
That is correct, but it is also an incomplete answer. But it is a correct answer. So getting to a little bit more detail, we have Sin Sarah. He wrote in and he said, Lower Decks Season 1 finale. So that's some more detail.
You're a genius.
So the Packlet Captain, Lower Decks, and that happened to be in the Lower Decks Season 1 finale. But I think we have to give the official win to Amy, who emailed in with the following. The text of the email only said this. It said, Lower Decks S1E01, no small parts, 20:50.
Wow.
She provided a time code.
You're a genius.
Thank you, Amy. You're this week's winner.
Wow.
Thank you to everyone else. Absolutely, that's correct. Yes, Lower Decks Season 1, Episode 10, no small parts, the finale, at around 20 minutes and 50 seconds.
All right.
All right. So
good job.
For next week, I'm going to play this clip twice. So this is what you've got. You just write in, let us know, give us as much information about the episode, character who says it, the episode it is, the season, the show, whatever. As much information as you can muster. Let me go ahead and play it.
Then you mustered?
You're a greedy son of a bitch.
Y'all hear that? Okay. Dan, do you know which episode that's from? Okay.
Wait. Play it again, Patrick.
Right.
You're a greedy son of a bitch.
No. Dan was playing his version. I'm playing my version. I clipped mine special. I bet mine's in stereo.
That means it's actually worse because it's hard contextually for your ears to understand when something's always coming from a certain direction.
For your ears to understand.
Because it's out of context with the rest of the conversation. So why do you always want it leaning on one side when mono is the best way to go when you're playing out of context quotes?
All right. I'm going to play mine just for good measure one more time.
If it's stereo and equal on both sides, that's just fucking mono.
Okay. Let me play it one more time.
Don't say these things and don't expect a response, Patrick.
Okay. I'm going to play one more time, and then the people I'll tell you where to write it. All right, here you go.
You're a greedy son of a bitch. You're a greedy son of a bitch.
No, that was Dan's version. That one doesn't count. You can't respond to that one.
It's just a crazy idea.
So write into feedback@itsgotstartrek.com or, at It's Got Star Trek wherever else you might find us. So that was this week's WTHHIHTB, aka Where the Hell Have I Heard That Before? All right. Back to the regularly scheduled show. Dan, take it away.
Oh, what is okay?
I'm just teasing you.
Are we doing some duty or no duties?
Yeah, I was going to ask, do we have duty or no duties? I presume between
several of them.
Between these two episodes,
I think we have 5 of them.
Let's do some duty or no duties.
Okay, number 1.
As ranking officer on site, it is my duty and pleasure to tell you that you will be spending the rest of your life in a Federation penal colony. Penal colony. Penal colony.
New Zealand. Wait, normally you repeat the duty, not the penal colony. But
Medical tricorder.
No.
Remember they said medical tricorder.
Medical tricorder.
A great joke, harkening back to Caretaker, right? That goes all the way back to Caretaker, I think.
Medical tricorder.
Voyager's pilot episode.
Okay. It is my duty. It is my duty.
That's duty.
You think it's a duty?
It is my duty.
100%.
Play it again.
It is my duty.
All right.
I mean, say what you're going to say. I'm not going to complain.
No, it's probably a duty. It's probably a duty. Again, for new listeners, this is Dan's game. It's called Duty or No Duty. It's when somebody uses the word duty. Are they saying duty or are they saying duty? If they're saying duty, then we say it's a duty. If they're saying duty, then we say it's a no duty. Those are the rules of the game.
It is my duty.
All right. Next one.
All right.
I'm also going to need someone to cover all of my shifts on the duty roster. Probably someone to dress me in the morning. Oh, and I want all of my food pre-chewed and spit into my mouth like a baby bird.
I really enjoyed Genesis. She was funny.
Yeah.
But by the way, that's a duty.
You can't do this on Nintendo.
Yeah, that's a duty.
I forgot that when I say Genesis, you have to play that clip. Even though the clip doesn't say Genesis. Yeah, it's just in response to the term Genesis.
Right. On the duty roster.
Yep, duty.
That's for me, that's a duty.
Lower deck latrine duty. 6 months as interspecies vomit monitor and 200 push-ups. Latrine duty. Latrine duty.
Okay, no duty.
That's clearly no duty.
No duty. I can agree with that. Okay, this is episode 2.
All right, so we're
duty.
All right, so it's a duty, no duty.
Yep.
We're all in agreement so far. This is number 4.
Yes.
Duty, honor, service. Louder.
Duty! Duty! Duty!
I'm gonna say no.
That's a tricky one. I would lean towards no duty.
I'm gonna say no duty.
But it is a little interesting because it's so many people saying duty
I
at once,
know.
so there might be some duties in there.
Yeah, but overall, I hear no duty.
I respect you for saying that. Dan.
Then here's the last one.
Duty! Honor! Service!
Again, that's a no duty, I'd say.
Duty!
Yep.
Very clearly.
No
right?
duty.
So it's a duty, no duty. No.
Dude.
Sorry. I got that all totally wrong. Duty, no duty, no duty, no duty.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Good. Excellent. Wow.
We did it.
I'm glad. Sometimes we forget about that, and I'm glad we didn't forget about that because it's very important that we cover that business.
A teachable moment.
All right. So anything else? Beta
Keep
test.
a close eye on your bowel movements for the next 3 days.
We talked a little bit about Tarima. We didn't really talk much about the plot.
Yeah.
I did enjoy. I think we.
She looks like Troy.
A little bit.
Is it Tarima Troy? No, it's not. It's Sadal. But
Tarima Sadal.
Yes, but she looks like Troy. I think they did that on purpose.
I agree with you, first of all. But also you alluded to earlier, or maybe alluded is not the right word. You were discussing about enjoying the pacing of this episode and the vibe of this episode.
I thought this episode was. I enjoyed this. I thought there was more substance to this episode. But once you said,
also more tonally consistent.
But what you said makes sense about the first episode. There's a lot of setting up they have to do. But on the other hand, you have Farpoint.
Encounter at
Farpoint, yeah. Which
where
is
Riker watches his own episode to catch up halfway through.
And while maybe, I mean, that's a really good first episode.
I mean, most people think it sucks.
Really?
I'm with you. I actually think it's not bad.
People think it sucks?
A lot of people think Farpoint
really
sucks. Yeah.
Because I think it's really good for a first episode because there's not I mean, they do some setup stuff, but but it doesn't take but there's still I think it fits in nicely with the episode.
For my money, although I agree that it's a debatable point, I think Deep Space Nine Emissary is really one of the best, most successful, let's say, pilots because it really sets up a lot of things for the series, the tone. I think it's very tonally consistent, interesting characters, a new and vibrant place. And I mention that in part because I get some of those vibes from Starfleet Academy, right? When the show was announced and they mentioned that it was going to have this ship, that the Academy itself was going to be a ship, the USS Athena. Yeah. I was getting a little nervous, but at least so far, the show has been more Deep Space Nine style where they're at a place.
Yeah,
they're hanging out at a place.
And the first episode, the first thing they did is go somewhere on the ship. So he thought that was going to be, and I guess the campus. There's two campuses. There's the San Francisco campus and the ship campus.
The ship is like the main building of the San Francisco campus when it's landed. Otherwise, it goes on an adventure and does some shit.
One thing I love about not many sci-fi shows deal with anything beyond the year 3000. Yeah, and I think that one of the great things, and maybe some people might not like this because maybe they feel it's not Star Trek or something. I don't. That's not my opinion.
Gatekeeping nonsense.
Yeah. So right. And what I love that it sort of gives these designers the
freedom to do whatever the fuck they want.
Freedom to run wild and basically come up with all sorts of amazing shit. This whole programmable matter stuff is crazy. You got all these ships with these floating parts. The Athena has this kind of crown, not a crown, but some sort of, it looks like a goddess.
I so wish we did a video podcast right now because Dan is acting out the Starship Athena.
Where her nacelles,
and it is priceless.
Where her nacelles are. It looks like what a goddess would wear on her head, the trailing parts of her helmet.
Yeah,
and the Athena coming out from the back.
It's majestic.
Yeah, and it's floating like that. And then when the ship at the end of the first episode, when the ship battle, the ship comes in from 3 different parts and forms one ship. It can split into different shit. I kind of dig all that, and the fact that it's this thing they introduced on Discovery, but are clearly expanding on here. Yeah, and they can come up with, and these designers are coming up with some really cool shit. I want to know looking at San Francisco, there's all these floating buildings way off in the distance. I want to know, are those little cities? What are those? I don't even know. But they're cool. They're
data centers.
Maybe they're data centers.
Maybe they're data centers.
I'm not joking, Lee.
You're not joking, but this episode was joking. The tone was, I think, a lot more consistent in this episode, where it's not that everything was goofy by any means. There's a lot of serious stuff talked about in this episode. but it was very quote unquote Star Trek, to use that as an adjective, in that they had a specific issue that had to be resolved over the course of the episode. And there was all these interesting character dynamics that happened through the course of the episode. People learn some lessons, grow a little bit, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But we also move forward the story of the rebuilding of the Federation.
So some of the things that like I could have done without, I think, like for example, when Jaden saved Thok, that was cool and all when they saved Jaden and Sam saved Thok, but then she was so pumped up from dying, which was cool that she was all pumped up by it. I like that. But then the slapstick punch at the end was really unnecessary. Like punching, I was like, I didn't really need that. When Darum. Do we say it's Darum?
Darum Raimi. His last name is Raimi.
I'm not asking about his last name. I'm asking how to pronounce his first name.
All right.
I'm sorry. That came off a little more aggressive. This is what I'm talking about. So this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes I come off more aggressive than I mean to. I'm not trying to be aggressive. I just get worked up.
Okay.
I needed a neural inhibitor, like I was alluding to earlier.
I partly mentioned because in the show they've been referring to him a lot as Raimi, but his name is Darum.
Okay, maybe I'll just call him Raimi.
All right.
Okay, and then I think it's Sam Raimi. But so when he was frozen and floating away from the ship, I never really like when they use the CGI person. I'm never really a big fan of that.
I hesitate to say flaw, but one of the lower points in the first episode, although I totally understand why they did it, was like Dan, you referenced before, all the big battle stuff, super scary stuff, and then all the just barely saving his life at the last minute, and him revealing his true form to Genesis. The way it was filmed was almost like it was a season finale type thing.
Yeah, it was.
You've known me for a season, but now I'm going to show you my true self.
Right.
I know that from a literary perspective, the point was to
a literary perspective.
Yes, it was as a literary. They were creating a connection between Genesis. Click the button. Play the sound.
You can't do this on Nintendo.
Between Genesis and Raimi.
I can't do this for the whole season.
You might have to. You might have to.
Oh no.
But
No.
They wanted to give them this character moment because Genesis, they're obviously setting up as having interest, possibly romantic interest in both Caleb and Raimi.
It seems closer to. Yeah, I mean, there could be a whole competition thing, which whatever.
They have different things in common. There's an attraction to Caleb, but she has a lot of things in common with Raimi. Why do these sexy guys get all the girls? But anyway, my point is that that was a lot in the first episode. I liked it in the second episode. It kind of pulled back a little bit more and was more like people talk about like quote unquote teen comedy. I was digging that. Yeah, now it was more like just actual realistic.
Right.
interaction.
So another thing in the first episode when the whole like I'm Kionian bitch like just wasn't playing for me. I don't know.
I agree, and I know that's one critique some people have had, not just of this particular episode.
I mean, I don't care that they said bitch. It's just I don't know. They just felt cheesy.
There are certain colloquial contemporary phrases that seem to be fine in speculative fiction and some that don't work as well. And I think the use of the colloquial use of the term bitch in that sense was a little weird. The other one that I think people have mentioned online and I kind of agree with was when the Stephen Colbert computer referred to hanger as being a problem.
Yeah. Hanger, right.
Hanger.
At first I was like, was he saying hanger? And I've only heard hangry. I've never heard of hanger.
Yeah,
before.
exactly. So it's weird in that you could say, oh, it's evolved from hangry to hanger over 1,000. No. That's a little too on the nose.
Yeah.
You could I accept the word cool. I accept using the word shit or fuck because those are cool words. Shit or fuck have been in the at least the English language for a very long time. They will likely be preserved for a long time moving forward. But some of these more silly terms like hangry, hangy, I don't know.
I got my hangy. So speaking of sort of the Raimi and Caleb's relationship. So at the beginning, when they're strifing over being roommates because basically Darum thinks that Caleb is messy, and Caleb is like, you spray cologne everywhere. Yeah. But then we find out later that Caleb was this a joke that Caleb was making?
Yeah.
But
about his clogged mucus or whatever he said.
Yeah, but was it clogged glands?
Yeah,
but he delivered that as if it was totally serious. And she was also like, why does it smell? And like it would make sense because he could be spraying cologne everywhere because he's trying to cover up his stinkiness.
I hadn't even considered that. You're right. I just took it as he was just totally fucking with.
I mean, honestly, I don't know what the answer is.
I think
but
Caleb
the
just
way
happily and casually will insult.
Right. It just seemed the way he delivered it made it believable. I thought he was a little rough with that one guy who got all excited about it was the
in the classroom. He was mean to the bespectacled fella.
Yeah, it was about
Wrangle horned tapeworms.
And he was really aggressive. He's like, "Don't stand next to me." I was just like,
Caleb's kind of a dickhead. He's
not
like a perfect guy.
That's not like a gross thing to be into. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's a tapeworm, but it's like you're in science class. What do we got to be excited about what you're doing.
I agree.
I mean, it's like it wasn't like the level of like mucus. The whole mucus thing. He kept saying things like this mucus was too vanilla. You know, he's just like, mucus is not my jam. He kept like relating it to all these goopy substances. It was gross, which was on purpose. Again, that was funny. That was funny.
And again, I know we're running over a little bit here, but I think an important point to make, at least from my perspective, admittedly subjective perspective, I think part of what's making this show work for me is, on the one hand, they are utilizing and relying on many archetypical, maybe even arguably cliched characterizations and setups in terms of like the scrappy poor guy and the asshole rich guy and the rich girl with the stern dad and the other girl who's got a funny personality. But it's all working. And I think it's impressive that it's
like
working.
it. No, I like it.
They're doing a good job with it because those archetypes are meant to be shortcuts to get you to the story. And when the story is actually interesting, then it works.
And the story actually talks about real like issues and stuff, which makes me happy. Which is like I already mentioned, I was kind of nervous in the first episode they weren't. But I liked in the second episode they seemed to introduce the character of Tarima and Occam like out of nowhere. It seems like I had no idea they were going to be. And then Occam, at first when we're introduced to him, he seems like just kind of like a normal brother, but then by the end he's like,
"We're roommates, bro."
And he's like,
"Let's make a fork, guys."
I'm fucking loving this fucking character.
I know. I like it too because I didn't see that coming. Like when you first see him, you just think he's some dude, and he turns out to be the super bro guy. He's like, "We'll get there, man."
And speaking of the jokes I'm talking about, the subtle side jokes, did you hear?
Okay, we'll get there.
Did you hear when he was talking to Raimi about all of Raimi's trophies and stuff?
Oh yeah.
And then the camera shifts over to Caleb because Caleb's making the bed or whatever. But you can hear in the background that what's his name? Amek?
Occam.
Occam. Okay, like Occam, like Occam's razor.
I don't know if it's spelled the same.
So Occam, you can hear. He starts talking. He's like, I give myself a trophy. He's
oh
like,
yeah, right. That was so sad.
He's like, all my trophies are mental. It's a kind of form of self-care.
Yeah, I know. That was so sad.
It was sad, but it was also fucking hilarious.
I know.
Like all my trophies are mental,
and I give them to myself.
Like you got up on time today.
Yeah, right.
I'm excited to see more of this character and of this triumvirate, and I am really enjoying the fact that again they used the cliche of the two quote unquote alpha guys who hate each other having to room together and having to team up together, and now they're bending that cliche by popping in this extra dude who's also like a kind of a rich privileged asshole, but he's not as competent. He's sort of a weaselly little fella. Fun times ahead.
Yeah, but he's gonna turn out to be like a good guy.
I mean, he seems like a good guy right from the top, which I think is great. And again, Tarima's great. Her dad was interesting. The whole Beta Z politics stuff, it wasn't complicated like Star Wars Episode 1 complicated.
Yeah.
It just was it made clear sense what the situation was.
Yeah. So I want to mention I really like that they're running with this doctor and the opera club thing.
Me too. Yes. When you're singing the Papagay song from the Magic Flute.
Yeah, the duet.
Mozart's the Magic Flute.
Yeah, the duet.
Zauberflaute.
At first I thought the person singing with him at the first view I thought it was Atlee, I thought so too. Who was the dragon person? But it turns out
the dragon person.
She has a dragon face.
I know. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's potentially offensive.
Well, how is this offensive? She's not a real can you be offensive about a species that doesn't she looks like a dragon? Is this when the world starts?
Get a load of this dragon lady.
No, it looks like they looked at a dragon and drew her based upon the picture of a dragon.
Absolutely.
And
I agree with you.
And so,
I agree with you.
Okay, I understand what you're saying. Like, you can be offensive even for made-up species, but it's
Look
like
at
at some point,
the lizard lady over there.
I'm just saying. Well, we say we say.
Check out the turtle face.
I
guy.
don't think I'm saying anything we haven't said. Anyways, it turns out though that it wasn't Atlee the dragon person. It was some kind of like seashell ram person.
And
did you see her head? It was
yes.
like a seashell ram.
It was an awesome character design, and so
that one didn't offend you. The seashell ram didn't offend you, but
I forget if it was somewhere on Reddit or Blue Sky or something. Somebody mentioned that it was their niece that they were like, "That's my niece singing." She got hired to sing that because she's an opera singer.
You didn't get offended by the seashell ram comment person, but you got offended by the dragon lady. Wow. I think because you make an association with, there's already, when you call someone a dragon person, there's already sort of an established.
I hadn't thought of that, but you
established baggage with that.
You could be right that there is an pre-existing Western prejudicial use of the term dragon lady.
But that is cool about that person on Reddit.
And by the way, Robert Picardo singing that on his own.
Yeah, you can tell.
We knew this previously, of course, but he is a trained singer. I think he did singing from a young age, and he did a great job here. And I'm a big fan of the Magic Flute, by the way. It's a great opera.
Oh, and speaking of Robert Picardo, so the guy who played President Emerin Sadal was played by Anthony Natale. I think that's how you pronounce his last name. So Robert Picardo and Anthony Natale were in another movie together in 2008 called Universal Signs, where the guy who played Sadal played Andrew, the lead, and Robert Picardo played Father Joe.
That's interesting fact.
Interesting. What are the odds?
I mean, presumably fairly high.
I mean, you think
maybe
Robert Picardo
got him the job on this show.
That's what I'm wondering.
Hence the odds would be low.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, because you often see movies with the same actors.
So you ask, what are the odds, Dan? And I say, Dan, the odds are quite low, in fact.
Well, so the odds are high.
High. Sorry, you're right.
So that leads me to the next point.
I'm not a math guy.
So if the odds are high, then the next question would be like, well, then how did you think it happened? Probably from, because like I said, you see movies with the same actors in them all the time.
Maybe like an email or a WhatsApp.
I'm just saying how
I don't know.
It doesn't matter. None of it matters. Nothing matters in this world. This world is stupid, and I hate it.
Look, I know we got to close things down. There's so much more that we could discuss. The music, for example.
Why didn't you just tell me?
Maybe next week we can go into more detail.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I don't like the opening theme. I think the opening theme is stupid. There's no theme. There's no actual theme.
Yeah, there isn't really a theme.
But separately, the music I think is fantastic. I think they're doing all sorts of interesting, weird, creative, strange things with the music during the episode.
I think it's kind of interesting though. They're doing some kind of Game of Thrones imagery where they're building. They're showing the school being built.
That's cool, but the music baffles me. The music for the quote unquote theme baffles me because it does like three different things. They're not connected, and none of them can be hummed. I can't hum any of that shit. I can't remember that shit. I was not a fan of the Picard theme. This theme I find completely baffling. Lower Decks ended up really growing on me. I love Discovery's theme. Strange New Worlds is good, but that's also like a variation. Now you have Patrick's opinion on modern Star Trek themes. Prodigy's great.
I'm sorry. I mean, I know we got to stop, but I really wanted to bring up the point about when Tarima got pissed at Caleb at the end, because I didn't understand why she got mad. So at the end, Tarima goes, they're talking about the whole thing. She goes, my whole life's been rules, helps me feel safe. And Caleb says, my mom made me feel that way. She got taken away. She's why I'm looking for Goja 5. She might be there, and I haven't seen her since I was 6, so I really need. And then she goes, oh, wait. That's why you care about Beta Z lowering its wall? And he's like, what? No. And she goes, why didn't you just tell me? I don't understand what she is upset about. Like, she's saying that, like, she thinks that he is doing this for her because he and wants to take down the wall, but because he's looking for his mom. But here's a few points, and let me just make these points out. Number one, she wanted him to be their guide.
Yes.
He didn't volunteer to be her guide. She wanted him to be her guide. He didn't request that. So there's number one. Number two, he doesn't have anything to do with Starfleet's desire to lower the Beta Z's wall, and he has no effect on that. So what is she talking about? And to remind you, this is the point of why she's mad at him. She's mad at him because she thinks he's trying to manipulate her into lowering the wall so he can find his mom. He has nothing to do with that decision. She wanted him to be the guide. I don't think he ever really specifically expressed that he wanted the walls lowered. I mean, he wanted to find his mom, but he never said that outright. And when they went to the Stellar Cartography Lab, she already sensed that he was looking for someone. She already knew he was looking for someone. Why does it matter matter if it's his mom.
And he had no idea that it was. It didn't even occur to him that it could be in Beta Z space.
Yeah,
she was the one who came up with that idea.
Right. That's so. What I was in this point. Finish this point real quick. If anything, that the fact that it's his mom should make it more understandable to her if there was any doubt. And the fifth point I was going to make is the one you just made, where she offered him the maps of Beta Z. He didn't ask her for it. He didn't know she had it. She was just like, "Hey, you trust me? I trust you." And she's like, "Zoop, here it is." I honestly have no idea why she was pissed. But then it turns out at the end he says he was supposed to have told her that the Federation. Okay, we'll say what you were going to say. There was something because he did make a point at the end.
What I was going to do
he said he did hide something. He was supposed to have told her that the Federation took his mom and that he was scared that if he told her, she'd tell her dad that the Federation is too fucked up to join. Yeah. And that's what he hid from her. But I don't understand. But I still don't understand what she's pissed about.
Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Dan, because I agree with you on all those points, and I observed the same thing. So I have an additional point to add to your list of very valid and cogent points, and I have one.
Doesn't scare me.
One counterpoint that it took me some time to come up with, but I did come up with.
I kind of want to let it all out and scream.
The point to add to your list, an additional point, is she herself is in favor of bringing down the wall. So it's almost like, why the fuck does she care? What his motivations are?
Right.
But the counterpoint is that she is a teenage girl.
Okay, well.
I agree that I think this was a little bit cumbersome because it makes her look a little weird or unreasonable because we were not given enough of a reason for her to be mad other than she's sort of misinterpreting what's going on here and thinking that he's manipulating her. They try in the dialogue to explain, because when he's saying, look, I could have told you the full truth of my thing and maybe you would have understood better, but I didn't because it might have risked that you wouldn't then go back to your dad and like pressure him into whatever.
I guess the only thing, because I'm having a real problem, like if she was blowing something out of proportion, I could just say that, but I'm having a hard time even finding a seed of a reason. I guess the only thing I can think is that earlier on she did say, I'll show you mine if you show me yours. Yeah. And he was continuously like not revealing, but he was very obviously not telling his secrets. It's not like it seemed like she had a sudden realization that he wasn't sharing with her, but it felt like he was holding back the whole time.
And by the way, I really liked his response.
She should have sensed that being Beta Z.
His initial response to her, I really respected, where he said that something along the lines of, "I didn't know that my childhood trauma was part of the tour."
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Which to me was like, exactly.
I just fucking met you.
It's like, yeah, you're cute. You got that. You got me on that clever joke about you're literally sitting on the fence, which was right. But that was funny. But anyway, that was a little bit manufactured.
It was confusing for me.
Confusing and manufactured. But in the end, we got to where we needed to be.
Yeah. Oh, and earlier, did you see the crazy heels she was wearing on the fence scene? Normally you see heels go perpendicular from the heel to the ground. If you look, hers went parallel from the ball of her foot.
Really? Oh, I didn't.
You got to look at that. They were sideways heels.
Oh, weird.
And when she said at the end, when he goes, where she's leaving, he goes, "Where are you going?" She goes, I think I asked you that first. And he goes like, "What do you mean you asked me first?" And I'm just like, yeah, what did she mean? I didn't know what she meant there. I don't know if you remember that part of the scene, but she left and he asked where she was going. She goes like, "I asked you that first."
I really enjoyed her introduction.
But
it was an impactful introduction.
I guess you don't remember that part,
huh?
Do you remember that part when
I do remember that part, but like you, I didn't fully understand.
Yeah.
And I think that's just a function of I don't know how they edit together some of these things. I think
maybe
some things get chopped out.
Yeah, maybe.
But beyond that, I did the way she was introduced was, I thought, very clever.
No, I like her character.
I enjoy how emotive she is. All her crazy facial expressions.
Yeah, she does have very interesting facial expressions.
It's purposefully childlike in some ways. I think trying to demonstrate she's both mature and capable, but also has this childlike aspect to her because of her princess-like.
Well, and that's interesting too. Is moon flow? When she reaches her first moon flow, is that what they were saying?
Yeah.
But no, what I liked is I liked that it was because so many of these shows, speaking of Game of Thrones, for example, they're always talking about like the firstborn son this, firstborn son that. It's kind of nice. It's like, oh, the firstborn daughter gets all this cool shit.
Jewel in her tooth.
Yeah, tooth jewel.
Tooth jewel.
Jewel.
And
whales, humpback whales, always bringing back them humpback
the whales
whales.
were cool. There was a ton of cool stuff in the episode. But again, this was setting the chess pieces out. We're introducing some more characters. War College. The people have talked about the whole Hogwarts thing. I think it's not quite Hogwarts, but it is, it's interesting what they're setting up here. And next week, we're going to talk about the third episode, which was, what was it? Vitus Reflux. That's what it's called.
Rich crap.
I played this earlier. I really like when Sam said this.
Have I said something inappropriate or frightening?
Or frightening.
See, again, I'm enjoying that character. It's good. So we'll continue our weekly coverage of Starfleet Academy with our discussion of Vitus Reflux next week. And,
wait. Right? No, that's not next week's episode.
Yeah, Vitus Reflux.
What?
Yeah, that's episode 3.
That's episode 3's name?
Yeah.
It's called Vitus Reflux?
Yeah, what did you think the episode was?
I thought it was called like...
Do I have it wrong?
Like sports ball game. That's not a ball game.
Let me look at... Okay, we're going to do some live looking it up here. We know you want to end the podcast here, but let's see here. Star Trek, Starfleet Academy.
Oh, you're right.
Season
No, you're right.
1.
No, you're right. What was the name of the sports game?
I don't know. We'll talk about that next.
Sports ball without the ball. Sports ball without the ball. Sports ball. I play sports ball. I call it sports ball because it's a sport and they have a ball. Sports ball, but it's not a ball.
With luck, Jesse.
Sports laser tag.
But Jesse will be well. He'll be healthy and joining us next week for our discussion of Vitus Reflux. Write in at feedback at it'sgotstartrek.com. You can You can go to the website www.it'sgotstartrek.com and patreon.com/it'sgotstartrek if you want to find a little fun extra stuff there.
I am Jaden Ka.
YouTube, and if you don't mind, subscribe to us on YouTube. You don't have to listen to us there, but why not? Just
Keep a close eye on your bowel movements for the next 3 days.
subscribe to us there. It's helpful. Okay, I think that's all the main things. Social media at It's Got Star Trek.
I've had a day.
So, Blue Sky and all that.
Don't screw it up.
And we will continue discussing this very fun TV show, Starfleet Academy.
Indeed, I liked it, enjoyed it.
All right, we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
And it all went away.
I bid you adieu.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Is there a creation myth about a wise-ass space rat who put a state-of-the-art starship in danger just because he needed to call his mummy?
Or one about an overcompensating fish boy who's sad and lonely because he has a teeny tiny fish dick?
Cadets, many cultures expel their males into the wild at your stage of hormonal development to mature on their own or die. We are not one of them. Currently.